Did you know that 70% of people fear public speaking more than death? That's right, many would rather face their worst nightmare than speak in front of a crowd. But here's the surprising part: articulate speakers are seen as 25% more confident and competent by their audience. So, whether you're speaking to one person or 1,000, how you speak could be the difference between success and missed opportunity. In this video, we're going to unlock the secrets to becoming a more articulate speaker. You'll discover simple yet powerful strategies that top speakers use to captivate any audience. From using your voice to controlling your body language, we'll teach you how to speak with confidence and impact. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to transform your communication skills and leave a lasting impression every time you speak. Ready to become more articulate? Let's dive in. Chapter 1: Unlocking your vocal power. Speak with authority. Your voice is one of your most powerful tools when it comes to speaking with clarity and authority. The way you use your voice can determine how people perceive you. Research by Harvard University found that speakers with a steady, confident voice are viewed as more trustworthy and competent. A strong, clear voice captures attention and conveys confidence, while a wavering voice can make even the best ideas seem weak. Start by focusing on your pitch. High-pitched voices can sometimes sound nervous, while lower pitches tend to sound more commanding. That's why many great speakers, like Barack Obama, use a lower register to appear more authoritative. It's not about sounding deep, but about controlling your tone. Another key to vocal power is pacing. Speak too quickly, and you risk losing your audience. Speak too slowly, and you may bore them. Aim for a steady pace with small pauses to allow your words to land. According to a study from Princeton, pauses allow the brain to process information, making your speech more memorable. Volume also matters. A loud, booming voice can be overpowering, while speaking too softly may make it difficult for others to hear you. The key is to find a comfortable volume that matches your message. When speaking publicly, always project your voice so the back row can hear you, even if you're not shouting. Breathing deeply is another essential strategy. Deep breathing helps to maintain a consistent voice and control nervousness. Breathe through your diaphragm, not your chest, to support a steady sound. This technique helps you control your volume and tone without strain. To sound more authoritative, practice enunciation. Slurring your words or mumbling can make you seem less confident, even if your ideas are solid. Try speaking slowly and deliberately at first, focusing on pronouncing each word clearly. Finally, a great way to practice is by recording yourself. Listen to the playback to spot areas of improvement. Are you speaking too quickly? Do you sound too monotone? Recording and reviewing will help you track your progress over time. Chapter 2: The Art of Pausing. Silence that speaks volumes. You might be surprised to learn that silence can be a speaker's best friend. Pausing is one of the most powerful techniques to make your speech sound more articulate and impactful. When you stop talking, your audience has time to absorb your words, making the message more memorable. As author and communication expert Susan Cain says, silence is not empty, it's full of answers. Research by the University of Wisconsin shows that speakers who pause after making important points are perceived as more confident and thoughtful. Pauses add weight to your words, signaling to the audience that what you're saying is worth reflecting on. Without pauses, listeners might miss key information or fail to grasp the significance of what's being said. The length of the pause matters too. A brief pause gives your audience just enough time to process what you've said. A longer pause can help create suspense, drawing them in and making them eager to hear what's next. For example, in speeches, Winston Churchill would often pause after key phrases to let the weight of his words sink in. It's also important to pause when transitioning from one idea to the next. This creates a smooth flow and allows your speech to breathe. Pausing signals to the audience that you're moving on, helping them follow along without feeling overwhelmed by a stream of information. Another strategic time for a pause is after you ask a question. Allow your listeners a moment to think before you continue speaking. It gives them a chance to engage with your words, making them more likely to retain your message. But it's not just about timing, it's about mastering your comfort with silence. Many speakers rush through pauses because they fear the discomfort of silence. However, silence can be a powerful tool when used correctly. Just like a well-placed metaphor, a pause can add layers of meaning and emotion to your words. Remember, every pause doesn't need to be long. In fact, sometimes a simple second or two can work wonders. Practice in front of a mirror or with a friend, and notice how it feels to let silence amplify your message. Chapter 3: The Metaphor Magnet. Transforming ordinary into extraordinary metaphors are not just literary devices, they're powerful speaking tools that make complex ideas more understandable and memorable. Instead of explaining a concept in technical terms, metaphors allow you to present ideas in a way that's relatable. Research has shown that using metaphors enhances a speaker's ability to make complex ideas stick. According to linguist George Lakoff, metaphors help us understand one idea in terms of another, which makes the abstract more concrete. Take a look at how Steve Jobs used metaphors in his keynotes. When introducing the iPhone, he described it as an iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator all in one. This simple metaphor helped the audience instantly grasp the iPhone's revolutionary nature by comparing it to something they already knew. Effective metaphors paint a vivid picture. Instead of saying, "Our company is growing rapidly," you might say, "Our company is like a rocket ship, soaring to new heights." This makes the idea come to life in the listener's mind, making it easier to visualize and remember. One of the secrets to using metaphors effectively is to make them personal. Metaphors that are tailored to your audience's experience are more likely to resonate. If you're speaking to a group of athletes, you might compare a challenging business situation to a difficult game. If your audience is more creative, a metaphor involving art or music might be a better fit. Metaphors also help you simplify complex ideas. For instance, rather than discussing a complicated financial model, you could compare it to a map, where every decision leads to a different path. This creates a clearer mental image for your listeners, making the idea easier to understand. Another advantage of metaphors is that they add emotional weight to your words. By connecting abstract ideas to emotions, metaphors tap into the audience's feelings, which makes your speech more compelling. It's no wonder that Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech remains one of the most memorable speeches in history. His metaphors painted a vivid picture of hope and unity. To make your metaphors more effective, use familiar and everyday language. The simpler the metaphor, the easier it is for your audience to grasp. A complex metaphor can be confusing, so stick with what your listeners already know and relate to. Finally, don't overuse metaphors. While they are a powerful tool, relying on them too much can make your speech feel cluttered or forced. Use them strategically, in moments where they will have the greatest impact. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want more tips on becoming a stronger, more confident speaker, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any upcoming content. Chapter 4, Mirror, Mirror, Perfecting Your Body Language for Impact. Your body language plays a huge role in how your message is received. In fact, research from Albert Mehrabian, a pioneer in communication studies, found that 93% of communication is non-verbal, 7% is words, 38% is tone, and a whopping 55% is body language. This shows just how important your gestures, posture, and facial expressions are when speaking. When you stand tall and maintain an open posture, you naturally project confidence. A study from the University of California found that people who stand with their shoulders back and head up are seen as more competent and authoritative. A slumped posture, on the other hand, can make you appear unsure or disengaged. Gestures can also enhance your message. Hand movements that emphasize key points can make your speech feel more dynamic and help your audience follow along. But don't overdo it. Too many gestures can be distracting. A study in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior found that speakers who use controlled hand movements are perceived as more persuasive. It's also important to maintain eye contact. Research shows that eye contact makes you appear more trustworthy and engaged. But there's a balance. Too little eye contact can make you seem evasive, while too much can feel aggressive. Aiming for 50–60% eye contact during a conversation strikes a good balance, according to studies by communication experts. Mirroring is another powerful body language technique. When you subtly mirror the body language of your audience, they feel more connected to you. This technique, known as the chameleon effect, builds rapport and makes people more likely to trust and agree with you. However, be careful not to mimic them too obviously, as it could come off as insincere. Don't forget your facial expressions. Smiling, for example, signals warmth and openness, making people more likely to listen to you. Studies show that smiling during a speech can increase audience engagement and improve how your message is received. But remember to vary your expressions to match the tone of your message. Practice in front of a mirror or record yourself to check your body language. Are you standing stiffly or crossing your arms? Are your facial expressions matching your words? The more you pay attention to these details, the more natural and confident you will appear. Chapter 5. Conscious breathing. The hidden tool of articulation. Breathing might seem like an automatic process, but when it comes to speaking, conscious breathing is a powerful tool that can transform your delivery. Breathing deeply through your diaphragm helps you project your voice more clearly and reduces nervousness, allowing you to speak with more control and confidence. A study from the American Institute of Stress found that controlled breathing can reduce anxiety, which is especially important before speaking in front of an audience. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the body and helps you focus on your message, not your nerves. Proper breathing also helps with voice control. When you breathe from your diaphragm, your voice is more resonant and steady. Shallow breathing, which comes from the chest, often leads to a weak or breathy voice. Breathing deeply ensures that you can speak louder and with more clarity without straining your vocal cords. Breathing exercises can also help you regulate your pace. When you consciously take slow, deep breaths, it naturally slows your speech down, preventing you from rushing through your words. Studies show that speakers who pace themselves have higher retention rates among their audience. One effective exercise is the 4-7-8 technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. This technique not only calms your nerves but also trains your lungs and diaphragm to work together for more controlled and powerful speech. It's not just about how you breathe, but when you breathe. Take a breath at the end of a sentence to give your audience a moment to absorb what you've said. This also helps you maintain a natural flow, rather than sounding rushed or out of breath. You can also use your breath to emphasize key points. When you take a deep breath before a particularly important sentence, it gives your words more weight and presence. This technique is used by some of the world's most compelling speakers, including Oprah Winfrey and Martin Luther King Jr. Regular practice of conscious breathing will help you stay calm, clear, and articulate, no matter how large your audience is. The more you make breathing a habit, the more natural it will feel during your speeches or conversations. Chapter 6. Wordplay Mastery. Choosing words that resonate. The words you choose can have a huge impact on how well your message lands with your audience. Great speakers know that it's not just about what they say, but how they say it. According to author and linguist Steven Pinker, language shapes our thoughts, and the words we choose directly influence how our audience interprets our ideas. One effective strategy is using simple, clear language. A study by the Journal of Consumer Research found that simple language leads to better comprehension and recall. By avoiding jargon and overly complex vocabulary, you make your message accessible to a broader audience. For example, instead of saying, utilize, just say, use. Another powerful tool is repetition. Repeating key phrases helps solidify your message and makes it more memorable. Martin Luther King Jr. famously used repetition in his "I Have a Dream" speech, where he repeated the phrase, "I have a dream," to emphasize his vision. This technique creates rhythm and reinforces the emotional impact of your words. Varying your sentence structure is another important strategy. If every sentence is the same length or pattern, your speech can become monotonous. Mix in shorter, punchier sentences to keep your audience's attention, especially after longer, more complex ones. This creates a natural flow and rhythm in your speech, making it more engaging. Word choice also plays a role in making your speech feel more dynamic. Use strong, active verbs instead of passive ones. Instead of saying, "The book was read by many," say, "Many read the book." Active voice makes your sentences clearer and more direct, which keeps your message powerful. Emotional appeal can also be achieved through words. Words like fearless, empowered, or united can evoke strong emotions in your listeners. A study published in the Journal of Marketing Research found that emotional words are more likely to be remembered and act as a catalyst for action. Metaphors, which we discussed earlier, also play a role in word selection. Choose metaphors that resonate with your audience, and make them vivid. Saying, "Our business is a rocket ship," conveys more than just, "Our business is growing rapidly." It sparks imagination and creates a stronger mental image. It's important to also cut out filler words like, like, and, you know. These words undermine your confidence and clarity. Research has shown that speakers who use fewer filler words are seen as more credible and authoritative. Finally, consider the emotional context of your words. Whether you're aiming for inspiration, empathy, or motivation, words carry weight. Choose words that connect with the emotional state of your audience. Studies show that words designed to evoke empathy can make your message more persuasive. Don't forget to subscribe. If you found these tips helpful, hit the subscribe button for more ways to improve your speaking skills and leave a lasting impression with every conversation.